awakening environmental awareness and caring for nature. With this aspiration in mind, Automotive Lighting Brotterode and Lerndorf Trusetal have jointly launched an environmental and nature conservation project in which both young and old are involved. With the commitment and the help of more than 60 sponsors, something unique could be created. An association named the Gruenes Classroom. This place, where beautiful flowers, wild herbs and fruit trees grow today, was an unkept dirt road just a few years ago. In order to turn this piece of land back into cultural landscape, it first had to be cleared of overgrown shrubs and garbage in late autumn 2017. Ramshackle hunting facilities needed to be removed. Among the supporters of the project was also the Bundeswehr. Along with the students, the soldiers helped cutting old shrubs and hedges. Before carrying out further earthworks, the route of a power supply line had to be determined and marked. The staff of Thüringer Energie AG were able to help quickly and efficiently. After a winter break, 80 tons of rootstocks were removed with the help of muscle strength and heavy machinery. Together with other tree waste, they filled 18 containers with 40 cubic meters each. In May 2018, ILA Engineering, together with TEAG Energy, identified 40 points of property boundaries. It was hard work setting the boundary stones made of granite. An excavator from the company Strabag AG helped to restore the original route. With the support of the local bank Rhön-Rennsteig Sparkasse, 3 display boards were set up, for which the frames are placed here. In between, the members of the association planted 18 fruit trees, old apple, cherry, plum and pear varieties. The Countess of Paris was the last tree planted together by the head district administrator, the mayor and the plant manager of Automotive Lighting. Around 60 guests and supporters were present at the official project opening on October 19, 2018. But the association members could not be long with celebrations. There was still a lot of work to do. Signposts and perches for birds of prey were waiting to be installed. By spring 2019, over 1,400 work hours and around 25,000 euros had been invested. And the result is quite impressive. Insects. They are vital for nature and thus also for us humans. A huge insect hotel was designed to offer breeding opportunities and living space for many of them. The steel shell was placed in the ground with a gripper. Employees of the Diakonie workshop in Trusetal built the roof structure with wooden shingles made from local larch. Now the interior is still missing. Clay stones are handmade from clay and straw. Bamboo and reed are added as breeding tubes in tin cans. Bricks and various types of wood with holes complete the interior. As the first guests, 200 cocoons of red mason bees are placed in the roof gable. And because all these insects also need food, a bee pasture was created right next door. Where now healthy wild herbs grow, the soil first had to be cleared of tons of stones and rootstocks. Stones were also removed from the nearby meadow, because soon the biggest event of the year, the Mowing Competition, was to take place here. Together with the environmental office Jena Bios, Dr. Hans Hochberg determined which fertilizer is suited best. Because the long drought had hit the young fruit trees, local fire departments came to the rescue. Students from the Trusetal Community School also came to the aid of the Gruenes Classroom. They used their project days to paint signposts and remove weeds. In return, they were introduced to the secrets of mowing with a traditional scythe. Because grass mowing with the scythe is better for nature, many members of the association wanted to master mowing by hand. In 2 workshops they learned the basics and were even made fit to participate in the mowing competition. Before we take a closer look at the competition, a brief explanation. Why do we still use a traditional scythe today when there are so many devices with a motor? First, the brush cutter. To be able to operate it at all, you pretty much have to dress up as an astronaut. It is also loud and uses gasoline. The cutting thread shreds the grass more than it cuts, and many times it also damages the turf. Second, the lawn tractor. It may be a cool vehicle for friends of motorsport, but it damages the flora and fauna just as much as the brush cutter. Some have already recognized the disadvantages, others still have to be convinced. These guys seem to be won over. Mowing with a scythe is good for nature, and it is obviously also fun for people. So much fun that they even turn it into a competition. Around 200 small meadows are prepared here, 6 by 3 meters and smaller ones for the children. When it comes down to competition, it is not about speed in handling the scythe, but
we judge the cut, that there is not too much grass lying around and the bundles are nicely formed.
Well, I believe it's not about a mindset like, I just want to win, that's all I think about. It's about having fun and applying your strength, because you constantly have to make this particular movement.
On one hand, you keep the tradition. And on the other hand, it is an event that shows the importance of our mountain grassland.
Many guests are here today who may not be experts. Those who see this should simply get a feel for what nature is, what can be done, what are the possibilities, and that it is very important to preserve this. Absolutely.
traditional mowing with a scythe requires skill and a lot of practice. However, the cutting edge of the scythe must be sharp. That is why mowers always have a whetstone on their belts. It must be moist to be able to sharpen the scythe properly. Every now and then, if the thin steel has nicks or dents, the scythe will need some peening. From the Mountain Meadow Festival back to the Green Classroom, there's a lot to discover and learn here.
Well, if we went on as before, the world would one day be nothing but a huge smoke ball.
We have to try to protect our nature somehow, and that's exactly what we are here for.
Anne designed the information board about the fruit trees herself and teaches the 6th grade here today.
And here, inside the apple, you can find the seeds. And do you know why these are good or what they are needed for?
Maybe to plant new apple trees?
Exactly. The seeds can be dried and then planted in new soil.
A tree is cut for the first time shortly after it has been planted. This is called the planting cut.
We live in Laudenbach and our family has created a sign. And at the same time, we are now the tree sponsors.
I'd like to welcome all of you at the Insect Hotel and would like to ask you what you can see over here.
Some bricks.
The Insect Hotel and especially the bees are Emily's subject of instruction.
In between there, that's supposed to be elderberry. Here we finally have some reeds. You see, now she strips off the pollen. Here you can also see that the legs are all yellow.
I learned something about beehives, how an apple is built, and how to cut trees.
Well, what I liked most was catching insects.
If you look through the magnifying glass at the top, you can see better how the animals are structured.
I was lucky enough to catch a spider, a real wasp spider, which is not so common around here.
It is very important to have a sustainability project in which the children learn that there is not only the theory in the classroom, but also the practical implementation, the insect hotel, the fruit tree avenue, and many other things as well.
In local dialect, the ambitious mower girls and boys are called die Ludmicher Mäher. As such, they don't just meet for work assignments in the green classroom or for the Mountain Meadow Festival. From May to September, you can watch them mowing the meadows around Laudenbach on certain days. Without care and use, there would be no biodiversity in the cultural landscape. That is why it is our job to bring old farming techniques closer to people, especially youngsters, in order to preserve traditions and cultural property for future generations. A colorful meadow is balm for the soul. Whoever maintains the tradition of scythe mowing will contribute to the future of the colorful meadows. Please join us.